It is Medicare Monday with Mike and Mike. Over here I have Mike Cilella and Mike Ogden. They're from Cilella Insurance, and we're going to talk about still working over 65 years old, which most people are. Most people, Mike C., are still working over 65. Should they choose Medicare or should they go with what their employer offers?
Well, that's a loaded question because there are so many moving parts to be uncovered and compared the two plans with. For example, what are your deductibles like with Medicare versus the deductibles in the employer's plan? Typically, Medicare has more coverage and better costs and lower co-pays than the commercial plans. So you really can't advise somebody one way or the other. We need to do a needs analysis.
So what are some other key factors? If someone at home is just watching us and they're sitting there, thinking, hey, maybe that's for me, what other key factors would you tell them to look for?
Well, number one is get your employer's plan of benefits that compare to the Medicare plans available, and you'll notice right away, like night and day, the copay costs, the deductibles, the out-of-pockets that you're going to have to spend if there's a ceiling cap. And I'm probably saying too fast here, but just
Medicare Monday, you say what you need.
Examine what the two plans look like and make an intelligent decision.
So if somebody at home watching this is over 65 and they have stuck with their employer insurance, can they and should they get with Medicare too?
They can switch if they want to, but typically what happens when you turn 65, I'm sure you've all heard of the red, white, and blue card. That's your Medicare card where you get parts A and B on there. So when you turn 65, typically you'll get Part A for free. That comes with your Medicare. Then when people register for Part B, that comes with a premium of it. This year it's $174.70. So you kind of have to compare that to what your cost is with your employer. But if you're still working, you do not need to take Part B because you still have credible coverage through your employer.
Okay, so if somebody's retiring, they're 65 and they retire, can they join in on Medicare? Do they have to wait for an open enrollment? How does that work?
Yeah, so most people think the only time you can make a change is this time coming up during October through December. But if people are just turning 65, they have their own enrollment period, which is the initial enrollment period, that is 3 months before your birthday, the month of your birthday, and 3 months after your birthday to enroll in any plan without incurring any penalties.
Good to know. So if somebody needs assistance with a Medicare plan and they're still employed, are you able to help them with that?
Absolutely, we are. Just as long as they're, of course, 65 or older, and they have Part A and B in their Medicare, or if they're just on A, we can advise them on which way to go after, again, looking at the two plans and seeing what's more cost-effective for them.
So this sounds kind of in-depth. What do you charge for this, and how does somebody go about getting these services?
Well, that's a great question. You have paid into this your entire life, 40 quarters of earnings into Medicare. It's your time to enjoy this, and to answer your question, I'm sorry I'm so long-winded, but
no, you're fine.
We don't charge anything.
Okay.
It's a free throughout the system with us. The carriers cover our finances, so that's nothing to worry about with the clients. And the best way to get a hold of us is with this QR code. Take a picture of that, I'd recommend, or my website. We have a place you can make an appointment on there. And then I think Mike's going to tell you about that.
Yeah, so for somebody who's not tech savvy, you ought to have a phone number too, right?
And that's going to be an important phone number because the upcoming disruption changes, again, to Part D this year are going to be confusing for everyone to navigate. So that's an important number to program into your phone and give us a call. We're here for you this year.
All right, well, tune in next Monday for Medicare Monday with Mike and Lauren.